Hello everybody, today I'm going to tell you how my awakening began and all about a music MC from Wales who radically changed my life. And I've always said this was the moment where I went click. I'm going to start with the story. I was 15 going to school in the West in a house always with poverty, and I've always kind of had like an intuition that the system was just kind of a load of bollocks, and it was like I couldn't understand anybody around me barely. Like I always had this deep desire for existential questions forever, and I felt like everything was just like a load of bollocks kind of, but I couldn't articulate it. I was very young, I was very unhealthy, and I lacked direction. So with all the resurgence of people like Andrew Tate and stuff in the media, the reason why there's so much gravity to that, and they recognize it, is because a lot of young men are needing like direction. And this is why just the whole personal development landscape is just the best thing ever, especially when you can communicate authentically. There's so much growth as well, because now I can articulate stuff. So then I didn't know, it was just like I didn't really know. Anyway, I was on the bus, I was going to school, and everyone knows about this music MC called Mr. Traumatik, and he just normally, his stuff in the mainstream, and I should have emphasized this was Traumatik's plan the whole time, which what makes the whole thing like makes you blow your mind. And then it goes into like Connor Murphy's, like psychedelics especially seem to like make people not like, obviously I'm just made a video about the Messiah complex actually that should be up now, spiritual ego. But a lot of these people have a tendency, actualized.org, that the psychedelic, well, maybe not actualized, but like they just like, so he knew that this trap was going to happen basically. I discovered that he knew it was going to happen years later. So I was going on the bus anyway, and everyone knows about this MC, and the normal stuff that he's quite like mainstream, to be fair. He's not mainstream at all. I mean, I don't know why that has a stigma if a lot of people listen to him, but the kids, people have heard him. He's like, I love my drum and bass, right? So he has them tunes where he just talks about like sex and like outlandish things that is just funny. And he's quite a funny character, and that's what he is. He's like a character. But and I realised as well the power of communicating a valuable message through art, through heavy rapping, slaying the beat. It's like an anthem, and it's music for the soul, as an Inspector Veg put it. And I only learned about Inspector Veg through Traumatik. So he led me down bare rabbit holes basically. So I was listening to Traumatik, I was going on the bus, I went, fuck it, I'll listen to a different album by him. I'll go and look through his discography and see what we got. One of the first songs I found, just from Shuffle, was this song here, Ark of the Covenant by Mr. Traumatik. And judging by the album cover, I was like, what the fuck? And I'll play it for you now. It came on and I was not prepared. This literally ticked like every subconscious thing. I was like, finally, someone's actually fucking saying what the fuck is going on and questioning everything. And it was like a sigh of relief. I was like, but I didn't actually know the spiritual path. I didn't know fuck all about like who I was. I was just like confused in some fucking indoctrination education system of the West, eating poison. No one really knows what's going on, and it's just like a weird. It seems, this is what Connor Murphy I learned today. It seems at first when you first incarnate, it's like that is just like random happenings. You're just a kid growing up in a random house, everything's normal. But as you like gain deeper insights and you contemplate more and more, you end up seeing your life as like some fairy tale complex landscape. I'll play the fucking song.
There's an awakening happening, and everybody can feel it. Each of us has a responsibility to cultivate a positive inner space.
Don't believe a word you heard on the television. Why? Because the media, they're dark like the government. I'm spiritual but not religious. I don't listen to commandments or rules. Fuck the Ark of the Covenant. If anybody tries to rise up or talk truth, trust me, it's a bullet in the heart when they punish them. So you can find me meditating on a mountain and I'm never coming back. I'm too smart, I'm a stubborn cunt. Every single thing we know is a lie. History is his story, it isn't mine. I'm not an atheist, no. I'm not religious, I'm searching for the truth and information with my inner eye. Cause everything you need to know is within your mind. I'm accessing knowledge of the forbidden kind. I tell you flat out now, the planet isn't right. You need to think and use your dome. The evidence is in the sky. The evidence is in plain sight, it's everywhere. But their eyes are wide shut, they don't ever stare. Truth hurts, and it's never fair. The truth about reality will leave you very scared. Cause it's terrifying, and it's very scary. But I'm never lying, just be very wary. Genetically they're modifying food, and that's the reason I'm a vegan. Cause I don't eat meat or any dairy.
I heard that. I was just got off the bus for school. I listened to it again before I was walking in the door. I was like, my mind was blown. And then from that day forward, I listened, and this was so when I was 15. So I often say that my awakening sort of process of pursuing the intellectual path and actually having a deep curiosity of seeking questions of what's going on in society, what's the nature of reality, where are the answers, and they actually led me to the answers in the end, which was psychedelics. It was actually Mr. Traumatic's plan, so he intended for exactly what happened to me to happen. It's like he set up like a trap.
They're corrupting the young with lyrics by talking rubbish and speaking gibberish, making tunes about clothes and money, violence, drugs and gangster killer shit. But deep down you know there's more to life. There's more than finding wars to fight. Be wise and go to the Amazon, see a shame and wake up and sort your life. I'm not saying my tunes are perfect, cause most my lyrics were evil and traumatized, like shank MCs with a sword and knife, and then leave them guys in the morgue tonight. I wrote them lyrics on purpose though, with hidden meanings and purpose, bro, to attract those violent people, wake them up and then show them inner peace. Using quantum similes, cosmic content flow and delivery. I show these evil people how to ascend and suppress their inner beast.
When I decided to research all of Mr. Traumatic's discography, at such a young age, he started talking about sacred geometry, and initially, right, the thing that captured my mind was the conspiracy. It's quite a conspiracy song, and I'm not necessarily I agree with everything he says. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like the absolute outside of the normal paradigm. All I've known is go to McDonald's for a treat, fuck around on the internet, go to school, and then I always had like an inkling, like it seems stupid, and I never really engaged with the school system, and I was happy I didn't really. I could have played it more strategically ultimately, but I literally flat out did just not listen to fuck all in school, and I'm actually kind of happy because it probably would have saved me from a lot of cultural conditioning and programming. You know the food pyramid that you teach you in school? It's a lie. It's literally a fucking lie. You have a question about who designed the food pyramid, and it's things like this that when I heard someone questioning it, I was like, this is a gold mine. And I kept digging deeper. I listened to all of his albums. I was a fan before Truth Hurts was even a thing. So back in the really early days, really. And I know like all of his songs, and all of his fucking lyrics are literally in my subconscious. And they literally like, it's more about, it's not necessarily about exactly what he says, but when you listen a lot, like, and he's very like untouched. Nobody sounds like this person, which is what's so good, and he's so powerful, and he's truly a good artist. I never hear a weak bar from Traumatic, never, not really. He doesn't slip, and like me, when I try to make music, it's actually quite a challenge to write lyrics that aren't like my flow's like really off and just kind of pretty shitty. But Traumatic always slays the beat, no doubt. But what I was saying is, it's not necessarily about the particular nuances that he speaks about. Like, he talks about, like, flat earth, firmament, and all this madness, right? One, I feel like he knows what he's doing when he says that. He's not thick. And the main thing that you cultivate, basically, is a message. And it's more of, like, the attitude that he comes at. There's this one line he goes, what's it called? fuck the monarchy, fuck the Queen, and fuck your policy. You dirty evil bastards, you can fuck your policy. I don't give a shit, honestly. I'm just giving them quality. You gotta question everything. I'm talking truth, I promise, G. And it's like, he literally just fucking, it's the way he comes, it's the attitude. And this is why music is very powerful in this idea of waking people up through conscious lyrics. Just to name a few off the top of my head, so we got Mr. Traumatik, we got Nate Music, We Say No is one of his best singles, about the vaccine, and it was filmed at loads of protests. Inspector Veg I learned through Mr. Traumatik, and he has led me to powerful teachers such as Dr. Robert Morse, which teach you an entirely culturally shattering perspective on health. Our Western culture, we have no idea. So when you look at these like teachers that are just way outside of anything that you, and then what I'm saying is Traumatik began this process. I began listening to all of his music and then basically mentally going, right, he's talking about this, DMT, I don't know what that is, he's talking about ayahuasca, and then through listening loads, it literally educated me. Music can be education. Do you hear that? I can educate somebody through a song and they can actually enjoy that song, and then the neurolinguistic programming just like reinforces a positive message on yourself the whole fucking time. So, and I actually made a short which was very speedy about neurolinguistic programming. Me and a friend, Key Parks, I'll leave his channel linked in the description, we're good mates and we're going to ascend into the eco villages and join us basically. Me and him were on a drive back home one day after having an amazing time. We met up in Wales with some first conscious people. That's when I made the video. I finally met my tribe. When I was with these people, one, we was listening to Traumatik all the time, and I actually said to him, I said, one, it's really good that I can finally have someone who resonates with this stuff without just going, what's it on about? It's not that bad, it's only fucking oven chips. Everyone, you know, everyone just says that they're okay, so we just eat them. Like, it's not gonna kill you. Look, you're still here. What's the problem? You've been here all this time. Like, and you enjoyed it when you was a kid, or like the diet and stuff, basically. But basically what me and Key concluded is that when it's neurolinguistic programming is like the music and the media that you consume enforces a kind of paradigm and a frame that you think in. So like you say, you know the very common phrase now, you are the sum of the top five people that you hang around with. You kind of adopt their traits and you become accustomed to them, and you do notice when you're with another being, you're like wearing a mask. You know who they are, and you might not realize, and you're not doing it consciously, but it's literally programmed into your like body. You literally act different. It's just survival. Why am I telling you that? I have no fucking idea what I was saying. I always forget what I'm talking about. Forgive me. But anyway, me and Key were fucking driving, and we concluded that basically he told me, it's because I started speaking about it, and eventually we built an understanding that not only you are what you eat. We've all heard you are what you eat. Think about that. You're not just what you eat, you are what you consume as well. And then this just goes into how you're literally built on what you consume. If you're going to McDonald's, you're literally built on that shit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure your whole, I don't know, I heard something about like your whole body or some shit replaces every cell every like 7 years, and even if that's not the case, you literally grow from the food you consume. There's no fat, there's no substance if you don't eat sometimes once every, I don't know. But basically we drew the conclusion that when Key listens to Pop Smoke, he doesn't want to think about spirituality or nothing. It like puts him into that frame. And Actualize.org has a very powerful video on how socialization makes you stupid, and that's an outlandish title, but what it more is about is that the more you associate with potentially low conscious people, low conscious media, low conscious consumption of, basically you get mired in groupthink. If you hang around with 5 stupid as fuck people, This is why I'm actually very grateful that I have my that I'm like decently alone most of the time. Like I don't really, I go to work and I just like go in my room, and like I used to want a missus loads, and I used to want to find all these spiritual friends so much, but the thing is about that desire is when you go through the awakening process, it's quite funny. It's like a joke, because it's like, for example, I was like obsessing over this girl who like randomly cut me off, probably because I was a dickhead, and I was like ruminating for years, literally. Like it was always recurring, because I felt it quite traumatic when she just cut me off, because we were like really close and there was no explanation, and I was ruminating about it for like, it wasn't like all the time, but it was like I couldn't get over it, and I was going, oh, I wish she'd return, I wish she'd reply to my DMs. But the funny thing is, when you mature, and I've said thank you to this girl so much now, because you actually become grateful. Traumatik has a lyric, living through its hard times has the benefits, life's like a pro tool you develop from the negatives. And then it's me thinking about this thing with the girl and how I'm grateful for it now, and then Traumatik saying you develop from the negatives, and I'm listening to that all day, and then I go, this situation, I desired so many things, I wanted this, I wanted that. But when you actually take responsibility in yourself and notice your thoughts and go through an awakening process, you don't actually want those things anymore. It's the traditional, if that girl now turned around and she said, oh, finally I'm coming back to you after all this time, you know, what I once desired in my low consciousness state. It's like, if that were to happen, I'd go, I'm good, because I've found my peace with how things are now, and I'm on my path to making powerful videos, so stay the fuck tuned. So I went a bit off there, but it's all tied in together, it's all relevant. But yeah, that was just a tangent, I guess, in terms of just like, you have to find the power within yourself, don't rely on the external things. Very low consciousness, but that's it. It's like the typical like gold digger scheme, where it's like the girl doesn't want to come back to you potentially until you fucking win the lottery, and then she's like, actually I do love you, and then you're like, I've found my peace without you. Actually, it's just that feeling, not that she was going to come back, but it's like I just like and then the feeling of liberation is what people are traumatic. They're just speaking better ways. There is absolutely no need for the negativity, is what I met with some very conscious people up in Wales. Key in that lot is you just say no to negative energy, and if you're around the right tribe, listening to the right music, staying away from the toxins, researching, having a value in truth, because for truth's sake, because you're curious, you can truly start to manifest what you have thought your whole life is just a load of bollocks. No. So, you know how you think everything's a load of bollocks? Why is everyone negative? Why am I trapped up in some wage slave cage? And I just fucking, there's no actual like creativity or discovering my purpose or nothing. It's just like, it seems like everything in the shop is like cheap and the economy's crashing, and like, I'm like, what is this like weird grid where I'm like forced to be overwhelmed on fucking by loads of phonetic alphabets and all these complicated, everything's built on so much complexity. Well, when you finally find the tribe of people with a touch of freedom, you start to get a taste of what it would be like to manifest your own reality. Because who's to say, if you want your land, what, the government going to take it off you? And I know it's a bit far-fetched somewhat, but it's not. I'll leave a link in the description of The Economy is Collapsing, Do This Now, by Iceman Gods of some shit. It's a powerful video. He's got many videos of the same nature. Shit's going down, and the government own us. The pandemic, stay in your house, you can't see your grandma, you're going to prison, madness, hand sanitizer. You know, when you put hand sanitizer on your skin, it just gets absorbed into you. It's basically the same as if you ate some of it. Don't be so thick. There's mandatory fucking hand sanitizers everywhere. Do you know what's in that? No one even knows, do they? Even if I fucking... No one even cares. Everyone just fucking does the same shit. And this is why Traumatik fucking finally saved me. But it's just like everyone's just locked into this paradigm. Like everyone knows the food's poison, but nobody actually researches what the fuck that could actually entail. It's like no one actually gives a fuck. It's fucking blows my mind. But anyway, thank you, Traumatic. You're the best. I'll leave them linked below as well. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. I've got mad shit coming. I promise it's only going to get better. Thank you.